Episode 4. Really episode 2, but also episode 4. We'll have 2 lost episodes, and it'll turn into the Daily Motor lore of what are on the first 2 lost episodes, and only the paid members will know. Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. Chris, Charlie, and Nathan here with Daily Motor, recording episode 4 of the Daily Motor podcast. It's a nice blustery day here in southeastern Michigan. We had a good weekend of driving the Jeep Grand Cherokee up to northern Michigan. Put on about 800 miles on the entire loan, and only had to jump start it once.
Yep.
Yeah. 6 screens in that car, and at any given time, I'd say about 4 or 5 of them were working. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but...
What was the other car you had to jump start?
The Maverick. Had to jump start it 3 times. Yeah, which, to be fair, pre-production car. But I think what happened is the 12-volt battery stopped working. I don't know if it wasn't being charged, if there was a connection issue or what. But as soon as you turn it off, the entire car just completely unresponsive. No dome lights, no locks, anything. 100% dead.
Wow.
And it took the Topher coming and actually, we put a jumper on it, but you couldn't just put the jump cables on to start it up. You had to kind of wiggle it. And he and I noticed all of a sudden the light flashed in the front of the truck, the headlight. And we're like, oh, there's life. So he would wiggle the negative end while I just held the starter. Felt like I was jump starting my town and country or something.
That's what I was thinking. You know when you have to, it's the ignition wires. You have to,
wiggle them.
Hit with a stick while you're turning it over.
It's the same sort of thing. So that's how we're currently starting our Maverick Hybrid, which is a shame because that was also a very good car. So let's start with the Jeep. Last week we had the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Maverick Hybrid, and the Civic Si.
Yeah.
Jeep Grand Cherokee, we all liked it.
Oh, I loved it.
I loved
it was amazing.
So you spent time in it first.
I did, and it started every time for me, actually.
Sure.
So my experience was actually really good. I almost immediately was able to relate it back to like a Land Rover or a Range Rover product. And it really related to a Land Rover Range Rover product when you had it. But as far as driving impressions for me, just the heavy steering, the overall feel of the materials, everything just felt really nice and quality. And we only had like the 3rd trim level from the bottom. I mean, 3 out of 7 or whatever. So
what more do you really get paying more? Is it just nicer leather? Do you get like massaging seats or anything?
Quilted leather.
And an air suspension.
Wheels and an air suspension. Yeah, because, well, that car also had, the one that we had quite a few options on it too, which you should be able to option on the other trim levels.
Right.
Which is really silly, but.
$57,000 for the truck we had.
Yeah.
I would probably go for something with fewer screens, fewer things to break. For example, if you remote started our Jeep Grand Cherokee, the little fancy passenger screen would not work for the entire duration you were driving it until you restarted the car.
I like that feature.
Apple CarPlay and Android Auto periodically went out on Nathan and I. Even with corded Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, we're having issues. Very strange. It would just all of a sudden, like, the phone would still be connected, but it wouldn't actually launch and everything.
I never had any of those issues. That's so weird.
Yeah.
It just liked me better.
Chris, you would hate this. So I drove it for eight hours total on the highway.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed on the way back down.
Oh, yes.
There's like a diagram of a Jeep in the lane when you have the radar sensing cruise control going.
Okay.
And when a car gets in front of you, it would display a picture of a Jeep. Well, if you were in the screen and a car got in front of you, it would glitch out and put a huge Jeep in front of the entire screen, but it was completely off center.
Yeah.
Nice. You would hate that. I would.
Did you take any photos of that?
I did not.
Ah, darn it, we should have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but if you were in, like, not in the radar sensing cruise control screen, then went into it while a car was in front of you, it would show like in the proper way, in between the lines and small.
Yeah, it looked like a Nintendo like graphic.
It did. It looked like Bowser just jumped in front of you all of a sudden. And
little glitchy things on all these new cars.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. But overall, I mean, it really did drive well. The ground clearance is great. I took it properly to tracking through the snow, put it in snow mode and drove it, and it did great.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It was so easy to drive to. And you know one thing I liked how squared off the front end looked when you were in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Looking
it's
out.
Muscular.
Mm-hmm. And you did mention, Nathan, the steering is a little heavy for you, but we also admittedly
I like the heavy steering.
we're driving on tire pressures that were very low.
Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, probably. I think they delivered it to us kind of low. Oftentimes, they'll set the tire pressures for us in their heated 72-degree garage.
Gotcha.
And then they'll go drive out into 20-degree temps, and you'll lose 4 psi or so.
Right.
They don't fix that. And since we didn't run a highway fuel economy test, I never changed them. But when we started the car on a cold morning up north, it was like -8.
-16 at one point.
At one point, yeah, it was very cold, and we were at 29 psi. Door placard's 36. Yeah, so
That's a 7 psi difference.
Yeah, pretty dramatic. So, PSA from Daily Motor: check your tire pressures if you live in climates that have drastically changing.
Check your PSI.
PSA. Yeah. So we had that, and then also the Maverick, Ford Maverick Hybrid, and we did some comparing with our Maverick gas motor.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris and I kind of established we'd probably pick the hybrid.
I would pick the hybrid. It's just so smooth and like mostly effortless to drive it smooth. Like you don't have to try super hard. And I think just for everyday use, the hybrid would be nice.
This is an application where a CVT actually does answer the question pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of fills in the torque and
a good CVT.
Yeah, you just you get a little power gauge rather than an RPM gauge, and it just kind of tells you you're at 25% power. That's all you need to get up to speed.
As good as a CVT can be.
Yes.
Although, as the YouTube commenters pointed out,
oh god,
it's slow.
It is, but for daily driving, you don't really notice much of the difference.
It's not really this slow.
Yeah.
Just I posted a 0 to 60 short, and people were just like, "Oh, that doesn't do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It's terrible."
It's not a Model S Plaid, so nobody cares.
Yep. I will say we were a bit, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but it was neat to test them back to back for fuel economy because the hybrid got 33 miles per gallon on our fuel economy test. The gas motor only got 30. So not that big of a difference. If you're going to put a lot of miles on a Maverick and you're not going to do much in the city, maybe just get the 2-liter.
Yeah.
And that was, you get all-wheel drive. That had the FX4 package, 4K tow. Very capable truck compared to the hybrid.
I just like the idea of the hybrid because it's something different in like a small pickup truck.
And it's cheaper. It's the base motor.
It's cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of surprises me. It did not do more on the highway.
Hybrids don't tend to do much better because they don't really have any advantage because you're just running gas.
Yeah.
The only advantage that one does have is it's an Atkinson cycle motor, which is a slightly more efficient combustion cycle. Mm-hmm. So that probably helped a little bit. Around town, though, we were getting easily over 35 miles per gallon, 35 to 40.
40.
And that wasn't like city town. That was like 45 miles per hour roads.
Yeah, just
starting it up.
Casual driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy driving it. Nathan loaded some tires in the back. It's nice and easy to just like have a low bed height that he was able to just kind of like heave them up in.
I kind of wanted to like use it for truck stuff, but I never had an excuse to.
Right.
So.
We were going to tow with it, and then Chris acutely pointed out that it did not have a tow package. So.
Yeah. Charlie went like somewhere else to go get a hitch or whatever you were doing, keys for a trailer.
Yeah.
And then he went on his journey, whatever. I got some lunch. He arrived back, and I was like, "Did you notice that this Maverick Hybrid doesn't have a hitch?" And you're like, "Oh."
I am glad you pointed that out before I like got the trailer ready to go or anything like that.
Yeah.
In fact, Nathan was going to come up and meet me, and we were both going to go out with both Mavericks and tow. And I was like, "Don't worry about it."
Why wouldn't they put a hitch on it?
I think because there are people who are genuinely never going to tow.
Well, I guess there's that Silverado we saw that didn't have a hitch on it.
It's another opportunity for manufacturers to make money. $500 to slap on a hitch.
A lot of people also buy trucks and never tow anything.
Yep.
Or use the bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd have to imagine that would tank the resale value of something like a Silverado.
Probably.
I do think it would be tougher.
Secondhand truck buyers are probably more likely to tow stuff.
We did confirm that it's a pre-production truck, though.
Oh,
so the rattle that you heard.
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean that was irritating, but I just turned the music up louder and I couldn't hear it anymore. So
right,
but I wasn't giving it grief for that because it was a 5,000-mile super early car. So
yeah. Ford was admittedly having trouble throughout the whole time they've had that truck, is just with pre-production issues and.
Oh, okay.
Because they said that all the production trucks of Broncos, Mavericks, Mach-E's, everything are just going straight out to customers right now with production the way that is. Why would they tie it up with a press vehicle when they've literally got customers that want to buy them?
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, total sense. So we had those two, both good cars despite their flaws. Mm-hmm. And then another good car with no flaws, Civic Si. How was your weekend with it?
Well, it started every time. It never died. Fantastic. God,
the screen
such a good car. It did. I mean, it's it's like almost flawless. I would like to have heated seats. They took away that option. You can't even option them on anymore.
Less
and
weight.
I would like to. True. I would like to also be able to choose to not have a moonroof.
Less weight.
Yeah. But otherwise, I had no complaints. It's such a good platform. You've got so much room in the back seat.
I was impressed by that.
The overall interior is just so nice. Like there's not a terrible amount of rev hang. Like it's there, but it's not as bad as the older Civic Si. So
yeah, no, it is better than the older Civic Si.
It's better.
Nathan and I did the live drive in that car, and we were really impressed by how much space there was in the back. I mean,
So-
an
my
adult
goodness,
could
yeah.
do a road trip back there and just be totally
I had
fine.
knee room, I had headroom, and yet it still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have
Yeah.
to compromise. And the trunk was huge too. It's not like they
Yeah.
like took
Yeah.
away trunk space.
So much room.
Mhm. Nathan fit in the trunk.
Oh, I should have watched that live drive.
Yeah,
I
you
missed
could
out.
you could fit a whole body in the trunk. So 6-passenger car, 5 in the cabin, 1 in the trunk.
Thank you.
Yep. What else about? And the pricing's so good on that.
27,000.
27.
And you can't really choose any options. It's
No.
like you choose your color and your tires, and that's it.
Yeah,
And like dealer accessories, I'm sure. But
I love the orange that was on it.
that was a nice orange. Honda's
Yeah.
doing a little better with their colors.
blazing orange.
Is
I
it
think.
a combo with Buffalo Wild Wings? It's blazing orange
Yes.
collaboration.
Collab.
Would you pick a normal Civic or an SI for a daily?
An SI because I like to put it in sport and pretend I'm in Fast and Furious stealing flat screen TVs off a semi truck with the speaker exhaust noise.
I'm overall not a fan of the earlier Fast and Furious movies, and the main thing
What?
is,
Those are the only ones that are good. It's like the
well,
first 3.
well, you see when they shift their cars, it's like for a second, and they're going, and they look at each other. They look each other in the eye, so they just shift, and then they go a lot faster. So then the other
It's
guy
just
comes up, and he's like, "Oh, I need to
dramatic
go
effect.
faster." Shift, which doesn't make any sense at all. So, and then you
And they like floor the gas pedal just a little
a little bit more
bit.
shift.
What are those movies going to do when all cars are electric? They can't shift anymore. It's just going to be put it into drive and then.
God, hopefully they stop making them by then. Sorry if I'm offending anybody.
That's
just
just Furious
so bad.
26, 27.
Ugh.
As long as Vin Diesel and The Rock are still alive, they're going to keep making them.
Diesel.
Yep. What was I going to say? Civic, before we got distracted.
Something about the.
GLI. A lot of
Oh,
people
yeah,
asked
hello.
comparing it against the GLI, and you've driven both.
I have driven both.
What are your thoughts?
I like the Civic better. I think it feels newer and more practical.
Also feels more premium.
And yeah, actually, yes, because, well, actually, both of them have mismatched door panels, but it works better in the Civic because the seats are also inconsistent, and that's just like a Honda thing. Like, you like the Type R, you get the red front seats, the black back seats. And it's the same in the SI. And it doesn't bother me as much because the seats don't match either.
What I noticed with the GLI, there's more power, but the gear ratios are so much longer that in second gear you're doing like 70 miles per hour by red line.
Yeah, worse rev hang too in the GLI.
Yeah.
If you
Not as fun to just row through the gears and beat
it's
on
not. It's not. That Civic Si is fun to drive in any situation, but it's also fun to drive fast.
it. Yes.
And I wasn't having as much fun in the GLI.
I think the Honda looks a lot better too.
I was just
And
going to
it
say
looks
that
better.
too. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does look better.
Yeah,
I'm over like Volkswagens are cool, but I like, you remember the like Mark V GTI, was it? The one with the like really happy face grille and the
Yep.
Yeah, Mark V.
Mm-hmm.
flower petal shaped wheels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Detroit wheels. That's what they're called.
Really? Detroit wheels?
Detroit wheels.
Why are they called Detroit wheels?
I have no idea.
Interesting. Yeah, if those are kind of hard to find not beat to shit by
or
now.
rusted out.
Yeah,
if
but
you're
if
in
you
the north.
if we found like a 40,000 mile example of that was like owned by someone who took good care of it, that'd be a cool car to have.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Still
Yeah.
probably have as much power as the Civic Si.
Yeah. Also, another point to like with the GLI, it's also in like a mid-cycle refresh right now. It hasn't gone through a total generation change like the Civic has. So the GLI is still, pretty much
Mark
the
7
same car
GTI.
it's been. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, GLIs are tough because they're always a generation behind the GTI.
Yeah.
Like GTI now is totally new, but GLI is still on what the
Still
Mark
the same.
7 was.
But that doesn't mean it has a volume knob.
yeah,
which is a good
there's
thing.
some things that are better.
Yeah.
By the way, what's your hat? Daniel Patrick.
Oh, it's just a brand from LA that I like.
Whenever I see it, I think it's Danica
Danica
Patrick.
Patrick. Yeah, everybody thinks that.
Danica.
Especially on a car podcast. How many gray beanies do you own?
Well, I've got this one. I've got the Nissan one. I've got. I think I have another. There's one other one that I'm forgetting. I think I have 3.
Yeah.
You two both
love
had hats
beanies.
last time.
Yeah. I like beanies because my hair is so long that I just get up in the morning and stick a beanie on, and that's it.
Speaking of long hair, Nathan and I both watched the new Grand Tour episode this weekend, the Carnage
The
Trois,
French,
or whatever.
the
It was
French
hilarious.
episode.
Yeah, very good one.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yep.
I like when Hammond was in the propeller car. That was probably the funniest part.
Yeah. A little bit disjointed of an episode. You can tell they kind of just stuck different bits together.
Oh,
but
totally.
I mean, just seeing all the French cars was really neat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, they probably had to, like with COVID and everything. Like they probably
right.
had to film it, like, in a bunch of different
Right.
blocks. So.
Well, I love the part when they took those cars off road and just
Oh, yeah, just
absolutely
destroyed 'em. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was funny.
Yeah, good classic. I'm glad to see that they all still have their characters. It was a little more of them just being them, which
Yeah.
was neat. It felt a little less scripted and a little less forced, which was
Yeah.
cool.
What was your comment about long hair? Because James has long hair.
James has long hair.
Yeah.
Richard has
I
kind of
am
long
James
hair
May.
too.
Mm-hmm. Now you are the resident James
I am
May.
James May.
Yeah, which nothing wrong with that. You know, between all 3 of them, he probably lives the most relaxed lifestyle,
He does.
healthiest probably too. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite being older.
You know, he beat Gordon Ramsay in a cooking contest once.
Really?
Making
Yep.
shepherd's pie.
Yep.
That
so
does seem on brand.
hate-
Actually.
hilarious.
I hate that I knew what you were talking about. All right. Anyways.
Gordon was so pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, I cannot believe.
So Chris and I agreed that the Maverick and the Civic Si would make for a really good 2-car household
They totally would.
because you've got your utility vehicle that you could still daily, whether you get the hybrid or the all-wheel drive. We also pointed out that it's silly to get the 2-liter turbo with front-wheel drive. Why would
Yeah.
you do that? Very silly that they
I
even
just-
offer that spec.
I think that would make for a good 2-car garage because it wouldn't really limit you to having a daily and a weekend car. You could
Yeah.
you could alternate between what cars you drive because they're both economical, they're both practical, but in different ways, kind of.
Yeah.
But
and both fun to drive.
both fun to drive. You've got your hybrid little truck you can use for truck stuff. You've got your 6-speed manual hot compact you can use for spirited driving, but also just to do other things.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be cool? A Maverick ST.
Maverick ST or Maverick Tremor. Maverick Tremor would be cool
They'll
too.
probably do more. I'm sure they'll do more
hope they
trims
do.
of the Tremor or the
Tremor trims?
Maverick.
Well, they've got the
Maverick
FX4.
trims? Yeah.
Why don't they put a little sporty package in there?
I think they should.
We-
Yeah, street truck would be cool.
We need a
2.0.
little step side Maverick with splash decals on
Oh
it.
God.
The only problem with that
We
is
need that.
the bed's small enough as it is.
No.
You tighten it up even.
It doesn't
more.
matter. Doesn't matter.
What was the
Practicality is
point?
irrelevant.
What was the point of the step side?
It was
It
very
looks cool.
in. Yeah, it was all just a
It's got
styling
flared
thing.
arches.
The only functional thing it did provide is technically there was a step on the side, so you could step up on the side and
good-
reach into the back of your
It's a
bed.
good breakdown of the term there.
Well, Ford actually called it flare side, didn't they? Or was Ford step
yeah,
side?
it might have been. Yeah,
One of
I
the
think
brands.
Chevy was step side.
Chevy was step side. Ford was flare side.
Did Ram not do that?
I don't think Ram had one.
It
Smart.
just completely ruined the styling, I thought.
It was
You know,
very
Toyota
90s.
did one.
Oh, they
Toyota
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yep.
That one was hideous.
I don't know what they called
That
theirs
was really
though.
bad.
Yeah. Did they ever do a Ranger step flare side?
Yes.
I think
Well,
they
that's
did.
that's what I was talking about. The Ranger Splash with the,
Right.
with the
Yeah.
flare
Yeah.
side.
Because they had
Bright
F-150
yellow
flare
paint with
sides
the
too.
glorious '90s purple decals on the side.
And then did they
So
do like a
rad.
Ranger Edge or something?
Yeah, that was newer though. That was like early 2000s.
You know what would be an interesting comparison video to do? Find, like, if Buttman ever got one or whatever, an Explorer track against a Maverick.
Sport track.
Explorer Sport Track. Yeah.
That would be
Sport
kinda
Track
cool.
Adrenaline.
Sport Track Adrenaline versus the Maverick
Yeah.
2-liter. That would be a good
Yeah.
video. Do truck stuff.
I will
Well, wasn't the
keep my eyes out.
the Explorer Sport Track more of like a Ranger, a new Ranger?
It was just an Explorer with a truck bed.
Yeah, I think it should be a similar size to
Yeah.
the Maverick. If anything, it's probably bigger than the Maverick.
Yeah,
It's bigger, yeah.
but the
It's-
bed's probably smaller.
The old Ranger is, I think,
Yeah.
is more comparable to the new Maverick.
Yeah.
yeah, like
yeah.
an '80s Ranger or a '90s Ranger.
Yeah.
Even in early 2000s, they hardly changed.
It's still
them.
body on frame, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The Explorer back then was body on frame too, right? It wasn't until this newer
Mm,
Explorer that it went unibody.
Yeah, I think in like 2012 or
It went
something.
unibody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another video that Chris thought of recently is a cheap car overlanding challenge.
Yes, I want to do that so bad. I think that like so many different people are trying out this whole like cheap car challenge thing, and the only one I've seen lately that I've really enjoyed has been Car Throttle. I think they did a really good job with theirs. They bought like 3. They're in the UK, so it's like 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds or whatever. Little like cheap hatchbacks. And
I saw
they
that
drove
one.
the entire length of like the UK or whatever, like that whole.
All of 10 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like the state of Michigan.
Yeah, so they drove like the whole distance, like however long that was, in these like cheap little cars, and everything just seemed very natural and like not scripted or anything, and they just had like a small little camera crew with them, and to get rollers and stuff. But I think the problem with a lot of the shows, like even the Grand Tour, like the newer ones, and we were just talking about this, is like everything is just so scripted and like fake, and I miss the days of like old Top Gear when they would. Which I'm sure was still scripted, but the days of
It's
old
more
Top Gear
natural.
when they would actually buy like cheap cars and do that, because like even with what you call it, Car Trek, with
Yeah, they're
Ed Bullion
doing
and
expensive
Tabarish and
cars.
Hoovy,
Yeah.
the cheapest cars they buy are like 10 grand or more.
Right.
So like I like the idea of like really just cheap like junk and
Mhm.
like go on a really really cool journey and.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if there's any cheap challenges you'd recommend, because some other ones we've thought of are buying our first cars, or at least versions of our first cars.
still
So
have
for
my
me,
first car.
yeah, you still have your first car, but you could buy any Cobalt if you didn't, because
I could-
presumably we would
yeah.
do like things
Buy
to it.
Buy like a shitty one. Or-
Yeah,
Excuse me.
you're fine. You can swear.
I can't.
You should.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Shit.
You should
That's character.
swear.
Yes. Penis. But yeah, you could buy a
get
shitty
Get
Cobalt.
like a supercharged one or like a naturally aspirated.
Yeah,
SS.
or even not an SS, like just a Cobalt.
Nah.
I feel like it just has to be within the model.
What was yours? A
It's
Taurus?
just a Taurus. It was a V6 Taurus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes things better.
Yeah.
Did
Mine
the
was
transmission blow up?
No.
Okay.
Mine
Great
was
car.
an
Should have
O-
kept it.
Yeah, it was really good. It was very clean too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it also a drug dealer's car?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Previously, not while I owned it.
Oh.
Mine was a 07 Focus, and that thing was so
I
tough.
love first gen Focuses.
Yeah,
It-
it's a great car.
It was the facelift one. It had 250,000 miles on it, and I beat the heck out of that thing.
Was that the Z-Tech motor? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Z-Tech. And
2
it
liter or
2 liter.
1.2
Is it 2 liter?
liter?
never had a single problem.
Wow.
The engine,
5-door?
drive components. Yep, 5-door.
5-door.
Yep. Yeah, the only downside is automatic, but it was still a fine automatic.
Those
Just
automatics are
it's
fine.
just
Yeah, they
four-
last forever.
four
Well, you
speed,
could shift it
yeah.
in first and second. And first, you really
You could really rev it out in first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do things like I'd go in front of a teacher's house with friends after football practice. I'd go up on a slippery, wet hill and hold the parking brake and just nail it in first gear and just do burnouts on the hill.
And
These are all things we could do in the video. We could find that same teacher's house and
just
go out-
continue to haunt
yeah.
them.
This whole shoe.
Yeah.
And then there was an exhaust leak in the catalytic converter. So what I did is I tried sealing it, and I could not get it sealed. It's just like a puffy sound. And then finally, when I was like, all right, I'm done trying to seal this, I took a hammer, a screwdriver, and a crowbar, and just pounded the crowbar into the gap with the hammer.
Like the
then
holy trinity of
pried
tools
it-
right there.
Then pried it open, and it literally sounded like a rally car. It was awesome.
Sure, it sounded great.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
Wow.
Yeah, it was a neat gauge cluster in that car. It's just a cool. The other thing is, I got it for $400.
Huh?
Yeah,
You're really good. Oh, hello. Okay. You're really good at finding cars for like $300.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Back
how
when
to
you
find them.
could.
The key is to just get them black, because then you can rattle can any rust.
silver. Silver
Or
is
silver,
also,
yeah,
is like the
black or
best color
silver.
because you don't really have to worry about clear coat.
I didn't worry about clear coat either.
No, you didn't. And you got overspray
Did your
everywhere.
did your
I was also drinking while we were in a garage, and Nathan's hood on that car was unpainted. Someone had replaced the hood with just like a primed hood, and my buddy and I were like, we've got some paint in the garage, a few beers in, and we just no ventilation or whatever, just started spraying it. It looked better.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like the $500 Focus I have. The hood was had
Had a crease in it in the front.
Yeah, because it had like hit a deer. So
Just jump
you
on
held it, and I literally just took a hammer and just boom, boom, boom.
That's
boom.
the magic of cheap cars.
And then put the hood. Just literally just took a hammer, ooh, and fixed it.
Yeah.
And then spray painted it, sanded it.
Good to go.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff. Did your Taurus have any rocker panels left?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
It wasn't.
in
It
great
wasn't
shape.
falling apart.
No.
Most of those look like they're about to break in half. Like this way.
I mean, to be fair, this was in like 2011. So
those Tauruses really
That's a
don't
long
rust
time
out as
ago.
bad as
yeah.
other ones. Like you can.
What
find
year was
them
the Taurus?
2002.
Oh, those rust out really bad.
Really?
Oh yeah, they like the moldings on the rocker panels fall off because they don't have any like clips to hold them up anymore.
Huh.
Do I have any photos? No, I do not of my car on here.
Was it brown?
No, it was black.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Did you ever do coning when you were in high school? It might have been past your time.
What is that?
Before your time. It's where you'd go to McDonald's and you'd order an ice cream cone and you'd grab it by the ice cream and then just drive away.
You would do that?
Yeah, I did that in my Taurus. So we thought it was hilarious. It was like just the thing to do back then. What nefarious teenagers did.
Okay.
You'd just like look the McDonald's employee in the eye and then just grab the ice cream by the cone.
I'm sure they
and
loved
take
that.
it. Oh,
I'm sure they really loved
there were
that.
certain McDonald's that wouldn't let you just order a singular ice cream. Like
they
cone.
knew that's
they
what
knew
you were
that's what
doing.
you're coming to do.
Wow.
Now
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, why do they care?
Well, because of course, like anything, people would take it too far and they'd do things like grab it and then throw it back in or something like that. Real assholes. We
Or
never
they'd
did that.
Go through the drive-through like 10 times
and just
do
keep,
it.
yeah, that sort of thing. But anyway, so yeah, if you think of any good cheap car challenges, let us know. First car challenge we've thought of. I mean, there's always just the generic like, what can you get under $1,000 sort of thing. But I like the overlanding idea that Chris has because it's a little different.
Yeah, and I
And the
think
challenges would be fun.
yeah, don't steal my idea. Car Trek.
Yeah. Throttle House, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Ed Bolian
Yeah.
listening.
So I honestly think any challenge that is like a trip, like any sort of like road trip that we could, spend a couple days doing something, sleep in the cars like old Top Gear style.
Could go out to
I think
Silver
that
Lake
would be
Sand
really
Dunes with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
If
awesome.
anyone who can make it up Test Hill with their car, like immediately wins. It's
could go
like 10,000
Silver
points.
Lake. Then we could go up to just like Sturgeon Bay up in Harbor Springs or camp at Wilderness. Or
Yeah,
something.
Silver Lake could be the first stop, and then we could
Yep.
go. One day.
Gingerman Raceway.
Oh, that's excellent. Oh, it's got. Oh yeah,
That was
facelift.
my focus.
Cool.
Yeah.
My dream cheap car challenge is to drive to Alaska.
Oh, really?
I would love to. I mean, I would want to have like a really good, like, have like a crew with us and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2,000 miles or 3,000 miles or something.
That's funny you say that because my dream, this isn't even necessarily a cheap car challenge dream, but is to go to Hudson Bay. There's like one singular road that you can take to get up there, and it's a long way. It's like 24 hours of driving, but it is not that star. It's here.
Oh, it's in Canada.
Yeah.
Can you go to Canada yet?
Yes, you can. I think you have to get your nose pricked, but
Oh, that's fine.
there's a right here-ish. There's like some sort of town you can go to.
That would also be cool because that's like basically Alaska. It's like the same thing.
Right. It'd be a similar sort of idea.
It's cheap.
Plus driving through the mountains up there, it's
I mean, that would just be like such a cool trip to like get 3 or however many of us end up doing it.
Right.
Cheap cars and just go on like an epic journey up to.
Does Canada do car inspections?
Probably. Pittsburgh
Yeah.
man, let us know if Canada's car inspection.
Yeah.
I don't know where. Oh, it's down here. That's what it is. It's this Fort
How
George.
many miles is that?
Let's see.
It's -9 there. We'd have to go like during summer. 'cause
Yeah,
it would
you
be
can't. You
treacherous
can't
to
do
go.
it during
Yeah,
winter.
yeah.
21 hours, 1,200
That's
miles.
perfect. 24 hours.
Yeah,
What if we got $2,400 cars and drove them 24 hours?
that's not a bad idea. Keep in
Yeah.
mind we do have to get back too, unless we abandon them there. Car and Driver has an old Mitsubishi Eclipse, the 4-wheel drive one, and they were going to do a story where they drove to the northernmost part of the United States, contiguous, and then just leave the car.
Isn't that littering?
Technically, I
Yeah.
think that's probably why they didn't end up doing it, but that's what they wanted to do. But either way, once you get on this road right here up in Quebec, it's like the only road. It's not even paved; it's like dirt,
Huh, wow.
but it's the only road to get up there.
That'd be awesome.
That's why I'm gonna have a Lincoln Navigator or whatever we do.
Right.
Have a wood steering wheel and
Oh
heated
no!
seats.
There was a car accident.
Oh no, totally
Oh, we
derailed.
can't go.
So, did you look? What certain place in Alaska were you just thinking Alaska in
Just
general?
Alaska. I don't know. Something.
What's
Because you could go through Canada or you could go through America.
Well, you'd have to go through Canada at some point.
Yeah.
Well, you would, but I'm saying like
Which route?
initially you could go up through Canada, but if you wanted to have more variety, you could go through like Wisconsin and North Dakota and whatever.
There's a video I should send you that these two motorcycle guys did. That they went to this town. They did the extent of Alaska on these two, what was it, 125cc Honda motorcycles, and it's a really entertaining video to watch.
One was brand new, but it was the same motorcycle. One was old and one was new, from like the 70s.
Wow, Alaska's really far away.
Yeah, we can't drive that whole. And my buddy's driven to Alaska. He said it was a wonderful trip. Let's just say, let's start with Anchorage. How long would it take to get there? Would be, once Google, it's going to be a long time when Google has to think about it. 64 hours of driving. 4,000 miles.
COVID-19 checkpoint.
Oh, no. And tolls. I hate tolls. Can you do it without tolls? Let's see.
You're going to make it 80 hours if you do that.
Avoid tolls. No, it's the same. 64 hours.
Oh, okay. Well,
good.
One day, please.
That would be quite the thing. The thing is, you'd have to, for both of these trips, you'd have to have a chase vehicle that's reliable.
For one, you need like a crew. You need someone that knows how to work on cars. You can bring Keone with us.
Yeah.
To ride in the crew car, and then have someone to drive the crew car.
Mm-hmm.
That could also be Keone.
Srx.
Yeah, that would be so expensive to take care.
That would get the same fuel economy as Chris's 4Runner.
Would it?
Probably. The TRX got 15 on our test, and the 4Runner got 14.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What about just like a van?
Take Peggy.
You need something.
Yeah. No. Well,
you need something that could pull things out.
Once we got into.
You need something that could pull things out.
That's true.
When they get stuck. When we fall asleep behind the wheel of your Escalade, and you meander off the road, we need to be able to yank.
If I'm alive still.
Yeah, because by Top Gear tradition, we'd have to leave you.
That's true. Yeah.
Also, what would the penalty vehicle be? What would the Beetle that follows us be? Peggy.
It could be Peggy, but then you'd have to take Peggy.
For those of you who don't know, Peggy is my 2006 Chrysler Town and Country.
That's an 06? Wow. Okay.
250,000 miles on it. Yeah.
I thought it was older than that.
We could bring the penalty vehicle on a trailer behind the recovery vehicle.
That's true.
Although then it's got to have a trailer. So
yeah. I don't really think there needs to be a penalty vehicle. I think you just if you're out, you're out. You ride with someone else.
Here's a 2004 Ford Explorer, 132,000 miles for $3,200.
Gotta go cheaper than that. I'd say $2,000.
$2,000.
$2,000 with maybe like a $500 modification amount that you can. If you spend under $2,000, you can go higher. But your purchase price has to be under $2,000.
Here's $1,000. Definitely doesn't look like a scam.
Probably doesn't run.
Yeah, it's probably a scam.
Or it's a scam.
No description.
Send me money.
Yeah, so that would be 64 hours. That would take us. I assume we'd sleep.
That would take us like a week.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah, and then we have to get back.
Solid driving.
Or we could sell the cars when we're up there and fly home. That'd probably be the best way to do it. No one's gonna want to do that trip back. Yeah. Sell the cars in Anchorage, drive home, or fly home.
We'd have to hope that you can sell them in like a couple days.
Well, we
or you could post them for sale
beforehand,
and then hope nothing happens on the way, and then have someone waiting to buy them.
Or we could just stay there for a few days and sell them.
Yeah.
And if they don't sell, you just scrap it. Have a deal with a scrapyard set.
Just scrap it.
Seriously, by that trip, they might just be worth scrap.
Yeah, that's true.
Moran, if you want to sponsor us to do this trip, let me know. We can work out something cool.
Yeah, any brands that are watching.
Right.
If you want to sponsor, because that's how Car Truck does it. They just get, they get sponsors to do it, but they spend so much money. Yeah. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their videos. We would not need that much.
No, we really would.
And our video would be better. So,
shots fired to Hoovy.
I love Car Truck. I really do love Car Truck, but I think that it's already gone too far from its original
passion.
It's
passion
just so
project.
It's very, very entertaining, and I do enjoy watching it. I watched all of them.
They've pumped out a lot of seasons.
They have. Yeah. They're doing a really good job, and you can tell that they're having a lot of fun and everything. But I just personally, I would do it differently. So.
Have you watched
No shade.
Hoovy's new show? That's an actual television show, Car Issues.
I haven't. No, I've been meaning to.
I haven't either.
I want
to. Check it out
anywhere because I don't really have.
Yeah,
TV.
I don't have TV. Do you have TV?
No, but his Car Issues is on Motor Trend on demand.
Motor Trend.
It's like $5 a month, and you get access to all of the old Top Gear.
It's not millennial enough for me. Although maybe it is on brand for Millennial to have a bunch of streaming services.
You get
now.
there's like every car show you could think of is on Motor Trend on demand. Like you got Fast and Loud, you've got old Top Gear, you've got Roadkill.
I'm too busy making our own.
I know. I don't have time. I don't have time to watch anything either. But I continue paying the $5 a month for like once a month I decide to watch old Top Gear.
Daily Motor can just pay for it. It'd be a business expense for research purposes.
For cheap car challenges. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest car I could find on Craigslist or Explorer was like $3,200, and then I looked at Cadillac Escalade. There was like one for $4,000.
It's so tough right now. Yeah. It would be really tough. You'd have to get like a really crappy Chevy Blazer, an Astro van, maybe like a first-gen Expedition with no exhaust manifold bolts left.
Subaru Outback.
Or
Forester.
You could do a Subaru. Yeah, I think you could easily do a Subaru, but they're tiny.
Ford Taurus wagon.
Ford Taurus wagon would be decent.
That would be
drive,
tough.
Though.
You'd really want probably to have 4-wheel drive.
You could also get an older Town and Country.
Ford Freestyle with a CVT.
They didn't make front all-wheel drive Freestyles. Freestyle. Sorry, not
Freestar. Freestyle. It's like the Taurus wagon. That's like the newer Taurus wagon.
Toyota Venza, although you wouldn't be able to find one cheap.
You can't have a Venza for that cheap now.
No.
Cadillac Srx 2004
with a North Star. Yeah.
Did they make the SRX that long ago?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well,
I think
it's like it looks ridiculous.
I think 04 was probably the first model year.
Well, because they, there's the one like our grandma has, and then they made one before that was bigger.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh, it's just an Encore.
You can have that with a V8
not an
motor.
Encore. The
Oh, what about a Buick Rendezvous?
Ooh. Or at that point, you Pontiac Aztek.
Or an Aztek with a tent.
An Aztek would be awesome.
That would get views too if you had an Aztek.
Honda Element would be a good call if you could find one cheap enough.
Or a first-gen CRV.
Yeah.
Spare tire on it.
All right. Well, I guess we're going down this rabbit hole, so y'all can just listen. We'll be as descriptive about what we can find possible.
There's a laptop.
Imagine spending $10,000 on a Subaru Crosstrek.
The Crosstrek is a good car. Poll in the comment section. Is the Crosstrek a good car?
No.
Ooh, 944 turbo.
What about a Prius V? That's up your alley.
That's what Nathan should get. I almost bought a Prius V.
Looks like it's in your driveway.
It looks like
something you haven't told us.
Hey, look at that.
There you go, Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan's going to go buy that after the podcast.
Why is that so cheap? Why do all the cars get cheap right when I go to sell it?
They're not cheap.
Has some front damage.
Oh, Nathan, you should actually go get. Oh,
mine's in better condition.
Yeah,
this has a lot fewer miles.
It's got a leather steering wheel.
If anyone wants to buy a 2010 Ford Focus, Nathan has one for sale.
Ooh, a Mercury Capri. Those are awesome.
All right, we have to stay on track. Ooh, Dodge Journey would actually be a not bad option.
Oh, God. I can't think of anything worse. I would do the Journey in a Mirage before I did it in a Dodge Journey.
You don't like the Dodge Journey. I think the Dodge Journey is brilliant.
It's just so bland and just nothing appealing.
It is bland, but a Volvo.
Can you search by... You can't search by all-wheel drive, I guess, on Facebook? You could do body style.
You don't need all-wheel drive.
Well, we'll find out in this car challenge then if you decide to go front-wheel drive.
I think you could have, and you brought up a good one earlier, Charlie, the Volvo XC70 Cross Country.
Yes.
I saw one of those. So it was lifted with big mudded tires.
Those are cool. Those are cool
like
wagons.
An exhaust.
Much better than a Subaru.
All right, are you going to do the filtering?
You probably have to hit select.
Facebook Marketplace is so irritating.
I know, it sucks because everyone uses it.
It's like literally unusable.
Right.
But you can filter dealerships out now, though, which is a good thing.
That's good.
This is just pain having to watch this right now.
Is it? Well, let's just do let's just at least put the max price, $2,000. What can we get?
You're going to have to cheat at that price point. Oh, there you go. And
2007 Forester, $950. Needs some TLC, runs good, engine solid, battery cable issue.
Look at the hood.
And needs a serpentine bolt.
We could all just get Subarus and scrap them at the end.
Look at the hood.
It'd be like that Top Gear episode where they all ended up getting BMWs of various vintages. Look at what is going on with that hood.
No, that's excellent.
Is it rust?
Yeah.
How could it be that rusted?
How could people do
they
that on
leather wrap
purpose?
it?
No,
Yeah.
people do that on purpose. They buy a bare metal hood and then they put like vinegar on it. And
Oh.
Okay. ABS lights on that. That'd be a great candidate. Yeah, it wouldn't make it quarter of the way, but it'd be a great.
What about that Outback? For $2,000?
There's no way this is real, unless
Well,
it's got a blown up.
It probably needs
needs work.
Oh, it's got a flat 6, and
Got
then it's an LL
stolen
Bean. Oh,
Catalytic converter was
damage.
stolen off. That's fine. There's a straight pipe. That's
those
fine.
those
Hail
LL
damage?
bean. Could you imagine that drone for 64 hours, Charlie?
You guys would get more sick. I just have like noise canceling headphones.
There's a CRV. There you go.
Yeah. Stick shift.
Oh, it's a manual.
Perfect.
Where's $1,000?
Drives very good. If you want something for nothing.
That's excellent.
The new battery.
Definitely will get you where you gotta go.
Nathan, you should buy this. This
It
would
is
be a great
crashed.
delivery
It's a
car.
You know how much of a pain it
Oh
would
yeah,
be to
delivering in a
deliver.
manual is a pain in the ass. I did that for a little while. These are not trucks.
There's a
Prelude.
minivan for $2,000.
There's a Taurus.
Go up. I want to see that Taurus
Where?
right there.
This?
No,
It's in
the
Brighton. Somebody put a new rear quarter on. What?
Oh, geez, this is probably stolen. Mechanically in good condition. Buy for parts. Motor starts
Lone
and runs.
head
but
How
one
is it
head gasket.
mechanically in good condition if it needs head gaskets?
there's
I,
a
like,
PT
don't
Cruiser,
understand.
Charlie. That's your favorite car in the whole wide world.
It is. There's no way this is not.
I was
Transmission is
thinking-
acting up.
I was thinking the other day if we'd ever did a cheap hot hatch challenge, Charlie, you'd have a PT Cruiser GT.
I would have that even
Oh,
just
what
as
about
my
an
normal car.
AMC Eagle wagon?
Sheesh. This is probably going to start to appreciate. Firm at 1800, running and driving
Four-wheel
project.
drive. Four-wheel drive straight six. That's basically a Jeep XJ Cherokee.
Yes, you're not wrong. That would be very charismatic.
You could
of
also have a Jeep XJ.
What's a Toyota? Oh, a Tercel. Yeah, Kia Soul wouldn't be a bad option if you could get one cheap enough.
Yeah,
Well, look at that F-150.
all-wheel drive.
This thing's probably just rusted to cock.
Doesn't look.
FX4 though.
Yeah, doesn't look that
low
bad.
miles.
Engine probably brand new battery. Truck needs
Done
plug.
guessing at problem.
Shop
I
book.
love reading
Could be
that.
a loose connection or sensor. He knows exactly what's wrong with
Yeah,
it.
he
It's
does.
just doesn't-
Part out. Full part out.
Yep.
Ooh, a Land Cruiser.
Where?
Right there.
That's not,
Oh,
Those are for the price 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah. They probably want 20 grand. Yeah, it would be neat to do some of these challenges.
There's a Blazer.
Oh, look,
there's
there's
a
a
Blazer.
There's a sidestep F-150. You go back
extra,
out.
and it comes with an extra transmission.
Runs can send video. Someone would have to get this for the cheap car challenge.
It's got leather, Charlie. It might even have heated seats.
No guarantee they'd work, but and you can take the spare transmission with you
I
for
mean,
when
why
yours
not?
goes.
Yeah.
Keone, can you put this new transmission in?
Yeah, you
Look at
probably
that
have to-
F-150.
Oh, flare side, baby.
Mm-hmm. No way, this is a real.
No.
Someone,
Well, it could
something's
be.
wrong. No title.
No title.
100% stolen.
Wonder whose truck that
Borrowed.
is.
Chevy
Ooh, a
Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Yeah, you could
That
sleep
would
in
be.
the.
Yeah, you could put the sleeping
Oh
bag in there.
my God.
That's the rustiest Avalanche I've ever seen.
I've never
It's a
seen-
Rust Avalanche. Literal Avalanche. Another Blazer. That's an
S10.
S10 actually.
Ford Escape.
What about like an Escape? Yeah.
Mercury Mountaineer?
Oh, that's
That'd
great.
Be a good one.
Yeah, that is.
That's
And
not
it's
bad.
beige.
What kind of
Nice
photos?
picture.
I like when
Yeah.
they start with the pros. All right. No rust. Doubt. 100% doubt.
Where's the
Cons.
bad?
No
No
power
power
steering.
steering.
You don't need that.
Yeah. No AC. We're
Don't
going to
need that
Canada.
either.
Not a big deal.
Oh,
Damage to the
dude,
right front
that's-
wheel.
How much is
Cracked
that thing?
windshield.
Wait,
$2
how
grand.
much is that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
This would be a good option.
nice
Although
seats.
you'd pay a lot for gas. But the Rock Auto
Does it have a
box
V8?
in there.
They're
That's
only
good.
V-
It's got a
Is that a
V8
six-
motor.
V8 motor.
4-liter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent
A what?
engine.
A 4? You mean a 4.6?
No, 4-liter V6.
No, it's an 8. This one's an 8.
Oh,
Do they come with a V6?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the V6.
There's your G6. That's the best option for doing off-roading.
Yeah, you can overland with those,
Yeah.
as the Topher found out.
He would show up mid test.
With a
with the
G6.
G6.
Oh, look at that Jeep.
I would be
Oh,
tempted
we
to do the
completely
Jeep.
forgot about
That's-
Jeeps.
Yeah.
That isn't real.
Unfortunately, the motor started misfiring and stopped
Oh,
running
okay, I guess
recently.
it is real.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
An Escape.
There is your first escape.
First gen Jeep Liberty.
Yeah, the Liberty. You could get a Liberty diesel, although I don't know if getting
Not for
diesel
$2
fuel
grand.
would be easy to get. First come, first serve. Asking $24.90.
That's right in
Our
budget.
best offer.
We could do a $2,400 budget, and you could get
Well, he's
that.
dropped it down to $2 grand.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Even better. Yeah.
Ooh, there's a
Tahoe.
Tahoe.
A lot of
Another
Blazers.
Blazer,
Somebody would have a
Canyon,
Blazer for
Jimmy. Dakota would be tempting for me. I've always
Where would you
wanted
sleep in
a
that?
Dakota.
sure. Truck bed
Truck bed.
with a tonneau cover.
I'd
That
get a
one's-
camper.
Four-door.
That one is very crashed.
Scion XB.
No, it's orange.
Oh fuck, guys! I want this for a personal car. It's a LeSabre Limited.
Oh no,
Wow.
Great running, reliable, strong motor.
shift's great.
What's wrong with it,
You put your
Nothing.
children in
Nothing.
the,
It's
in
a
the
Buick
trunk too.
LeSabre.
guys? This is the best car. Look at it.
Look at the rust dripping down from the fuel door. Go back.
It's literally rusting from the inside out. Oh god, you just spray some silver paint. Oh my
That's
gosh,
hideous.
it's got the middle seat.
Where's
Chris,
the center
trust me, I used to
console
give
lid?
these Lefebvre shit until I drove one. It's so
I know because
comfortable.
your girlfriend had one. And
Yeah, you put this up
she
and
could
then
ride in the
I told
middle.
you all about it. Yeah. $2,000 for this. It's the best used car buy. 30
Look at the
Wow.
rest.
can put 2 bodies in
It's
there.
not perilous at all.
Oh, look, they even bothered to open everything to show that it all works.
What about a Mazda 5?
Mazda 5 would be cool.
you
Although I
have
think
all-wheel
they're
drive
front
in
wheel
those?
drive. Yeah, I think they're front wheel drive only. That's fake.
Don't even click that.
It was a Toyota 4Runner for $1,000, 100% fake. This would
What
be
about
cool.
a Bronco?
Oh,
This
yeah,
would be really good.
Can't have Broncos for $2,000 anymore though.
No, you
even if they
cannot.
don't run.
100% not. This is good daily. Possible trades. Trade them for a 6-pack.
Wow, it's got leather in
This
it.
is really
Trade 'em
nice.
for the
That's
Focus.
a nice truck.
Wow. Yeah. Chris, I think we should do this challenge. Maybe like August or September
Yeah.
next year.
I am so down to
Cool.
yeah. We just need the only thing that we
The
need to
Dodge
figure out.
Ram Charger.
The only thing that would be hard to figure out would be a crew. That's it. I mean, we'd have to
We got friends.
pay people to come with us.
Yeah. We get a budget together for paying people to come.
Right.
There's a
Long.
$500.
Oh, what about a
Ford
Durango?
Explorer. There's a
If you're gonna get the Durango
Focus wagon. Go down. Right there.
here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't
Why is
see
it
over
duct
some of
tape on
the because it's a Focus wagon. Just needs a heater motor put on it, and by
What is-
heater
What
motor
is a
they
heater
mean
motor?
motor.
Yeah. What is a heater motor? Like a
blower motor is probably what they
blower
mean.
motor or a
Heater core.
Heater core. Yeah.
They probably mean blower motor. Oh, I like the one photo that's very, very similar to the
Yeah.
other.
I genuinely think some people go out to their driveway and just go
and then upload every photo
and then
just,
yeah,
yeah.
because you'll oftentimes get pictures that are just like pictures of people.
Yeah.
Like actually even better is when like boomers take pictures of their wives like
it's a
leaning
manual
on
too.
Is it?
Sorry to cut you
No,
off.
it's
Chris.
okay. I was just saying when like boomers take pictures of their wives like leaning on the car.
On the 1993 C4
Yeah,
Corvette
right.
that they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
I know what I've got.
Yeah.
12,000 or best offer.
First gen
We'll
Mazda
trade for a
CX-9.
Harley.
My Corvette is best Corvette.
That would not be bad.
Yeah,
I'd
not
worry a
for
bit
$2,000
about the
cheap.
yeah, you wouldn't be able to get
The
one. For
Envoy. Go up to the Envoy.
Envoy. Oh god.
It's probably got a it's in Celine, you know, it's been cared for.
Good condition. Bad thing is that four-wheel drive doesn't work.
Dang it.
That would be a funny premise in the video
It's
though.
a long wheelbase too.
For you to have 4-wheel drive, but for it to not work. Like, guys, I got an all-wheel drive car. And
I think
it's
those are
it doesn't work.
inline 6. Pretty sure.
I have zero
But
idea.
you're also right. That would be a good one.
good
You're like
premise.
It's
Get-
also
you get, like, all the way
General
up.
Motors V.
Here we go.
six.
GMC Savannah.
that is excellent. It's even got rims.
It's
Wouldn't that be perfect
And-
for the Canadian Outback?
it's screenshots uploaded.
A video. Oh no, it's like from Google Drive or something.
The vehicle starts up and drives, but is not breathing correctly. Needs a new throttle body.
Not breathing. Does it
Rims
Technically-
alone
does it have
cost
COVID?
$2,000.
Thank you. Technically, you could buy something for like $1,500 that needs some work and just
Yeah.
fix it and then use it.
Yeah. No, I think this is a good idea. So if anyone wants to help us out with our $2,000 overlanding challenge, let us know.
No Lincoln Navigators showed up. I'm really sad.
We have to seek that out.
I don't think you could have one for $2,000.
Probably not.
I was
unless
looking
it's-
at ones that were
unless
like
it's
4 or 5.
ghettoed.
Yeah.
When did Mazda come out with the CX-5?
2014, I think.
Oh. You want to know something interesting? I was thinking about this.
Maybe a little earlier, like 12.
You know,
Yeah.
like, have you ever seen put up a picture of a new Mazda CX-9 from the side, like a side profile?
Mazda CX-9 side. Everyone who's listening is going, no, Nathan, we're just listening.
All right. Go.
Looks like a
Go
Mazda.
back. Go back.
Back to what?
Like, just click out of the X and scroll down a little bit. I'm looking for.
I'm curious to see where this is going.
Me too.
Go to that gray one. Yeah, right.
This
there.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it look like it has a? Most cars like they have a sloping front end, like it comes down. That one, it's kind of like the opposite. It comes up. Like
Yeah, it's kind of like the Jeep.
Well, I was wondering, what would
Pedestrian safety.
pedestrians say? What if you hit someone at 50 miles an hour? Would it be like an axe and just split them in half?
Maybe that's what they're going for. I have to imagine there's some sort of crumple zone or whatever. And a lot of pedestrian safety is actually where the car hits you rather than how it hits
Yeah,
you.
so if I'm standing up, it would hit me right in the hip, so that'd be perfect to split me in half.
Well, I've never driven a CX-9, so
Have you really never driven a
Yeah,
6? Oh,
we
they're
could-
excellent.
we could get one and try it, Nathan. See what happens.
All right, Mazda, we're going to be requesting a CX-9 the next few weeks.
Definitely not gonna hit anyone with it.
Nope.
Yep.
Yep. No lawsuits going to be happening with that one. Speaking of getting cars, this week we have ourselves a. Why do I have a? Oh no, that's for next week. Sorry.
Do you need help?
I do not need help.
Okay.
Thank
sorry.
you. We are getting a Golf R.
DSG.
Yes. Is it already here? No, it's not. It's on its way. Yep.
It's arriving soon.
Yeah, you've driven the Golf R, the manual.
I have driven the manual. I have not driven the DSG.
Was the manual
6-speed
good?
manual is fantastic.
How much better is it than the GTI?
It's.
And by better, I mean, what would you have?
I'd probably have the GTI still.
Okay.
But the Golf R is, it's just like an ST to an RS, obviously. But the Golf R now has more character than it did before.
That's
it's a
good.
little bit more playful, and it has drift mode and Nürburgring mode.
Really? What's Nürburgring mode for? The Nürburgring?
Yep. Turns the cluster green.
Are you serious?
Because every day I think, you know what? I really need to take my Golf R to the Nürburgring.
Well, you've got a button that allows you to do that.
You can
But does
feel
it-
like
does it
it
just-
really makes you feel like
Does
you're
it
on the
just drop
Nürburgring.
the
It's-
Nürburgring around?
Yeah, it
Does
does.
Start
A helicopter
rearrange
comes
the-
and it drops the Nürburgring. No, it's just like a mega track mode, because you have like normal and then sport and then individual. And why are you laughing?
Because it's comical. Keep going.
And then track and then drift. And
The Nürburgring.
It makes me think, again, second week in a row of a Pokemon reference here, but with Pokemon, it was just 3 evolutions for the longest time, but then that wasn't enough. People wanted more, so they made Mega Evolution.
It's mega.
Evolution.
Mega's so
Z
stupid.
move.
Exactly. So
Mega's dumb.
Mega
So-
evolutions are brilliant. What are you talking about?
Because they only last for like a day. Well, I've only ever played Pokemon Go. So.
last for a day. What are you talking about?
In
They last
Pokemon
the
Go.
entire battle.
In Pokemon Go. Well, yeah, that's right. In Pokemon Go, you mega evolve something.
Pokemon Go is not real Pokemon. Pokemon Go is for whimpering 5-year-olds who think it's Pokemon. A real man's Pokemon game is Pokemon Emerald.
I just.
Pokemon Sapphire.
and that's the game they didn't
Fire
have Mega
Red.
Evolutions in.
Well, when they got up to Pokemon X and Y, which I've never played, but that's a baby game too. But Alpha Ruby,
Losing all of our audience right now.
Omega Sapphire. I am right. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. When you get Mega Rayquaza or Mega Kyogre, it kicks everyone's ass.
I
And
think
it
this
looks
is just saying that
amazing.
Nathan's gonna like Nürburgring mode.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nürburgring mode is just Mega Evolution for the Golf R.
No, that's stupid because some Mega Evolutions are bad.
There you go. This is a bad Mega Evolution.
It would be
Bumblebee Mega Evolution.
the Mega Evolution for Gyarados, and it looks ridiculous.
Well, I'm interested to drive it because the last Golf R, the last generation, was boring. The first time I drove it, I was like,
This is less boring now.
why would I have this
You've got-
over GTI? It's just more expensive and
Pops and
boring.
burbles.
Pops and burbles are good.
And hopefully DSG farts. I don't know because I didn't drive the DSG. But
Piped
I'm-
in sound? Does it have
Sound.
sound decor?
Yeah, a little bit. I think.
The new Elantra N, you can
I can't
100%
wait to drive that.
customize how much sound you get piped in from nothing all the way up to ridiculous, obnoxious, fake race car sound.
Do you remember
the
that
SI.
370G Nismo we had up north?
Oh, so
and the
loud.
pipe, it literally made my ears bleed. It
It was-
was so.
Chris hated
I
that.
don't like Z cars.
Have you driven this 370Z?
Yes, not the new one. I drove like a 20.
It's the
they're all the
same.
same,
It's
aren't
no
they?
different,
Yeah, I've driven
yeah.
it. Convertible, roadster.
Manual?
Yeah.
And you didn't like it?
Not really.
Maybe you're spoiled by your other many manual cars, but in today's market where everything is like an automatic
Yeah.
or fake in many ways,
It was also like
it was actually
open
kind of
diff.
like a fun car to. Oh,
It was open diff.
with a Nismo, so
Okay.
it probably had closed
Yeah.
diff and everything. It was just like it almost felt raw, like it felt analog
I
compared
would
to
probably,
everything
I would
else on
probably
the
like
market
the
now.
Nismo. Yeah.
It's kind of like how when the Nissan GTR first came out and everyone was like, it's like driving a video game, and now you drive a GTR and you're like, it's like driving an old car.
Yeah.
So
Do you
God.
remember Top Gear? They had the Stig go out. It was old Top Gear. They had the Stig go out in a GTI in sport mode or normal mode and comfort. And at sport, you like do a lap.
Okay.
Sport normal got the same lap times. Comfort mode got the fastest lap time.
did it really?
Yeah.
I believe that. I mean, there's nothing. This made me so angry when we had a 2-liter turbo Accord, and I did the whole review. Admittedly, this was stupid on my part, but I did the whole review and never put it into sport mode. And everyone was like, "Oh, if you would have put it into sport mode, it would have been so much faster." I'm like, guys, 100% throttle is
Yeah.
still 100% throttle.
Yeah.
It doesn't unlock horsepower. It's the same car.
It's like
just,
Fast
and
and
there's no
Furious.
adaptive suspension on an Accord
It's like
Sport.
Fast and
so-
Furious. Oh, I need to go a little bit faster. Oh, sport mode.
yeah, it just maybe stiffens the steering, and it just makes
Yeah.
the throttle come on sooner.
That reminds me of the Genesis salesman that told me when you put a G70 in sport mode, it lowers it 3 inches.
What? I
That was
had
fun.
He has a drastically overinflated idea of 3 inches.
I just not.
His wife has been very nice to him. Very
Right.
nice.
And
We've just ruined his life. He's gonna be like,
and as always, drive on.
I had a Chevy salesman told me, so I was looking at this Cruze and he was quoting me and stuff, and then I looked online at the Chrysler dealer. They had a Spark, and I'd rather have a Spark than a Cruze for delivering.
Yeah.
And I told him, it's like, oh, what about the Spark over there? It's cheaper. He's like, oh, he got so angry. He's like, that Spark is terrible. It's a Daewoo underneath. It's worse than a Hyundai. And I immediately lost all respect for him right there. It's like, are you kidding me?
Clearly hasn't driven a Hyundai since 2000.
So yeah.
Well, that's
a whole other hour-long conversation.
He was a big, fat, old guy with half his teeth missing that went out and just stench of cigarette smoke.
So we're going to cause 2 suicides on this podcast. So Golf R, that should be fun to drive. I kind of wish we had it against the Civic Si, but it'll still be... I mean, we just had the Civic, so it's fresh in our minds, and then it'll be neat to drive around. I think that's a good car to get DSG with, though, because all-wheel drive...
I liked the manual.
Did you like the manual? Was it good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not, I mean,
but
really
we'll see what you feel like.
Minimal rev hang.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's a lot of horsepower, right? Like 280?
That's over 300 now.
Holy.
I think it's 300. Wow. I would have... I mean, watch my Golf R video. But,
yeah.
I don't know exact figures. I knew when I was driving it, but
sure.
Yeah, it's
if only we could look it up.
Yeah. It's fine. You don't need to.
The other car we have this week, Kia Sorento plug-in.
Bev.
We all drove that over here. Lots of nice things. For those of you who are not up to speed, Hyundai and Kia have been doing some great moves in both their interiors, their powertrains, exteriors. Great looking car.
Yeah. Gorgeous interior, but Charlie dislikes the font on the buttons.
Yes.
I hate how it smells like, as Chris described, a pumpkin patch inside.
Yeah.
It does.
That is a downside of a lot of new Hyundais and Kias. They don't smell
weird
as good as... And maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. But it just doesn't... The new car smell is not...
The Koreans...
Yeah, like maybe they're just used to different smells.
The
in their
Koreans
cars,
like
that smells good.
patches.
Maybe they get into Fords and they're like, this smells like shit. But new Fords and new Chryslers bring memories to me of like having sales, going as a kid, going around this showrooms and sitting in every car and pushing all the buttons and stuff. So Hyundai's, Kias don't really do it.
The Ford EcoSport smelled vile new.
Yeah,
So
and also
gross.
came with spiders.
And came with spiders in it, yeah.
I remember a base model new Focus smelled like someone had already been smoking.
Yeah, a lot of new cheap Fords smell really gross when they're
Fair
new.
enough. All right.
Yeah.
But I think the Sorento is going to be good. I might as well look it up. How far can you go?
Don't tell a Chevy salesman that.
What?
That they're good?
Korean cars.
Say the word Kia in front of them.
Yeah.
The 22 Sorento FEV can go 32 miles in EV mode. So we'll put that to the test.
That's like pretty standard. That's good.
Yeah.
What is FEV? stand?
PHEV.
Plug-in hybrid electric vehicle.
Why does every car company, like Mazda had, I was doing the fuel economy spreadsheet, it's like Sky Active.
Oh, yeah, you don't need to. You're just noticing it, you mean?
Well, yeah, it's just like it's a Sky Active.
Isn't
The
that
best
just
one
like
is Honda.
Earth Dreams?
What?
Their engines say Earth Dreams. That's their brand.
Oh, for God's sakes. And then Ford EcoBoost. It's not Eco. It's crap.
It's Boost.
It's Boost.
I
gotta have
it's
it right.
EcoBoost.
Yeah.
Just put a damn V8 in it, for God's sakes.
You know, it's funny you
V8
say that.
motor.
I was helping my girlfriend move yesterday, and we were getting a U-Haul, and the owner of the shop that was housing the U-Hauls was like showing us pictures of his F-150 because as F-150 owners do, and he was like, "Yeah, this thing started as an EcoBoost, but I got a Gen 3 Coyote going in it and all this stuff." He's like, "But I'm gonna leave the EcoBoost badges on it." And
What are you? Wow.
3 suicides today.
I don't think I've ever heard anything more moronic in my life. Yeah, there's like 50% EcoBoost out there, 50% Coyotes. Oh, I'm going to make my life that much of a pain in the
To
ass.
swap the motor.
To swap the motor.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Buy a
It was
Coyote
hilarious.
and put
It's hilarious.
EcoBoost badges on it.
Well, no. It was already it already has EcoBoost badges on it.
Because it's an
Is
EcoBoost.
It's an EcoBoost.
Exactly, so buy a Coyote and put
I
EcoBoost
think-
badges
I
on
think-
it.
He's saying just buy a 5.0 that's already made that way.
Well,
and
I
put the
think
EcoBoost
I think
badges
well
on.
he already had the truck. I think the EcoBoost blew up, like the motor blew up,
Oh,
and he's just like, well, screw it, I'm putting a Coyote in it,
fair enough.
and then leaving the EcoBoost badges.
I gotcha.
Why would he put the Raptor engine in it or something?
V6s are for the weak,
Yeah,
allegedly.
allegedly. Let's take a look at the Sorento specs real quick. I think it'll be a good car. $50,000 though.
Really, really pretty interior.
Yeah, it looks cool
Colors.
from the outside too.
Yeah, it does. Snow White.
Oh, this is not. I forgot I have my own login now because the Topher is old news. Do I remember what my login is? Find out next week. Either way, it's a $50,000 car.
Just passed an hour.
Yep, it's gonna be fine. And then what are we getting next week? The week after that.
Hey, you haven't updated the schedule.
Good point. We are getting a Mini Electric.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
The Mini SE, which Chris Brower and I have driven on an autocross, but not in real
that's
life.
fun.
What do you think is gonna go wrong with that? A Mini that's electric.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
And no, I'm actually pretty excited to drive that car. The only problem with the Mini Electric is that it only has like 130 miles of range.
What's the point of that?
People who live in like legit
It's
city.
just like that Mazda thing that I drove.
Mhm.
MX-30.
MX-30. Yeah, good driving car, but just
Yeah.
it's horribly
Well,
stupid.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we're getting a Santa Cruz that week as well, next week. So that'll be cool to compare against our Maverick. In fact, they're even similar colors.
Oh man, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
Oh god.
it's gonna be a lot of videos with that one.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of comments.
Honestly, I'm curious what you guys are going to think because I quite liked the Santa Cruz. I think
Charlie.
it's a better product than the Maverick, like from just build quality, niceness of interior, functionality.
Mhm. Right. Yep. Stop right there. What is missing?
Well, if we were playing I Spy here, I would probably have to say a volume knob.
That's right. That is completely right.
I think you can get a base model that has a volume knob. And wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto then. If you get the top trim, you don't get wireless CarPlay and Android
What?
Auto. But the base cars do. Yeah,
No,
it's a bit unfortunate.
I kind of like the wired CarPlay. It's just like
Is it just me, or does everything in that car look crooked?
It's 'cause the picture's
it's
crooked.
the picture. Yeah.
But like crooked from other things.
No, it's good. It really is, and it hustles. It's a dual clutch transmission.
Yep.
It's quite fast. Good motor. So I'm curious. An 8-speed dual clutch, 2.4. Oh, this is a high. This isn't right. It's not a hybrid.
They don't do hybrids.
Yeah, someone put in the wrong info. Let's look at the actual window sticker here. Santa Cruz Limited all-wheel drive.
22 miles per gallon.
It can tow more than the Maverick. can, though.
$41,000.
Yeah,
So it's
8-speed
double the
wet
price
dual
of a
clutch,
Maverick.
2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder.
Why not buy a Ranger?
Because this drives much better than a Ranger.
What about the new Ranger?
Well, no one's driven the new Ranger.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you want a car now, you have to get that. And it's built in Montgomery, Alabama, whereas the Maverick is built in Mexico. So if you want to support American jobs, you buy the Korean car.
Yeah.
And with that, on that
Back to the
bombshell.
studio.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let us know in the comments. Actually, we should do a quick before we end. Take a look at any of the last comments from the last podcast. I don't think any of them were really relevant to like, hey guys, can you answer this question for me?
Someone could have commented 5 minutes ago.
They really could have. You're right, but we do appreciate all of your comments and all of you poking fun at the people who thought their cars could beat your cars and our cars, the Velosters and the Escalades.
Veloster guy. Yeah.
The Escalade.
Yeah, Moran commented that someone said that their stock Mustang GT would be able to beat his twin turbocharged Shelby GT 350. It's like, okay. Yeah, great. And someone requested we do a 2022 Toyota Highlander sound system demo. We can probably make that happen.
This year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we will get a 22 sound system Highlander. Neat. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Did we miss anything, guys?
We covered it all.
Okay, good. I did just get a message that the Golf R is arrive.
Wow,
So we should
excellent.
go and drive it.
Yes, we should.
I think that's a great reason to take off here.
Yep.
So thank you all so much for listening and for watching, and we will be back next week to report on our weeks with the Golf R and the Sorento Hybrid. Hopefully, I don't have to jumpstart either of them.
Yeah, we should be all right.
Is this
Darn,
one?
darn, 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 darn.